Is this album that's only available in America, I believe, and not here. So a bit of history coming up on Radio 2 in just a moment, courtesy of Hazel of Merton Park. And it's George Harrison singing Take Good Care of My Baby. Oh, it's a classic. Hope you're listening, George. 21 minutes after 11 o'clock.
Are you a chicken-livered twit?
What?
Or are you man enough to face up to a cuddly king contest?
Well, I'm man enough to give you one. Yeah, what do you reckon? Okay, get your brain in the right order and cop this. Loads of Beatle records all joined together. The first letter of each title spells probably history's naughtiest person.
You say goodbye, and I say hello. Sitting on a cornflake. Well, shake it up, baby, now. Shake it up, baby. Newspaper taxis appear on the shore, waiting to take you away. 8 days a week. Just let me hear some of that rock and roll music.
No prizes today, but a pat on the back if you get it right, and we'll give you the answer after this bunch.
And now, step inside a memory module.
Little Richard finishing off a jolly bundle of fab oldies. Hello, darlings. It's me. Is that you? Good. It's 3 minutes to 1:30, and here's the answer to our contest. The first letter was a H, of course. Hello, goodbye. Second was I'm a walrus. The third one was a T for twist and shite. I said shout. Lucy in the Sky with diamonds. Then we had 8 days a week, which was an E. Rock and roll music, which was an R. And all that bundled together spells this nasty piece. Ah, shut up. Let's get rid of him. Okay, here's a record that you might think, or you might think it's a great moment in history. This tape of George Harrison, released by Decca of America, not here, come on Decca here, singing Take Good Care of My Baby. And this is before they decided that Liverpool was probably better than America, because this record is suffused with things like and all that old-fashioned stuff. Have a listen.
My tears are falling 'cause you've taken her away. And though it really hurts me so, there's something that I gotta say. Take good care of my baby. Take good care of my baby.
Good try, though. George Harrison and Take Good Care of My Baby. Good tune. Enthusiastically slaughtered there. It's 11:30, and more from that album as time goes by. Other good tracks. The rest of the Beatles. Oh, good. Might have an old John one soon, or a Paulie Poo. Oh, by the way, in just a moment, it's sing-along time. About at 12:10.
Captain Kremen, he's so hunky.
Big and budge, bulging biceps, his shirt slashed open to the waist. You know, and an unruly lock of tousled hair falling over the bronzed forehead.
Captain Kremen, he's so hunky.
Space Adventure's coming at 12 o'clock. It's about half an hour and a bit. Okay, you guys, get your lips in order. It's sing-along time. To those of you who live north of Hatfield, I feel you must be a little confused. Tough. There's nothing I can do about it, darling. Nobody north of Hatfield's made a record similar to that. It's 25 minutes to 12 what? Wind up what? Oh, I'm getting signs from the producer. Oh, you rude thing. Right, on with the show, and it's birthday time right now, so... Spencer Davis is 41, poor old thing. He was born in Swansea 41 years ago today. And also today, 8 years ago, the Moody Blues opened the first ever quadraphonic studio right here in Britain, in fact in Hampstead. What happened to quad? It sort of went down a plank hole, really, didn't it? Too many channels for people to cope with, I guess. Martha Reeves is 41 tomorrow, so is Dion. He was born in the Bronx. Brian May, ace guitarist of Queen, born in Twickenham 35 years ago on Sunday. Cat Stevens, 35 on Wednesday. And Tim Brooke Taylor is 42 this very day. And here's one of his great jokes.
Say you fellows, what do you find in a snooker table and in a man's trousers?
I don't know.
Pockets.
Clap, clap. Grab your arm, stick it in your partner's ear, and fling your liver into bin, darling. It's 21 minutes to 12. The clouds are out. The Bell Stars just had 1 million calls from north of Hatfield and say, turn the record over, there's the English version.
He's all right, is Arthur Daly. So he's got a couple of Nelson Riddles going. Who hasn't? Doesn't make you a villain, do it? And he sells the odd dodgy motor. Not a crime? Well, it's a crime, yes, technically. But it's a bit under the arm, the way the 8 stones sit on his daily, giving him GBH on the ear hole all the time. Just because he
Great. It's available, buy it. It's in the charts, not in the charts. It's sort of flunging around the bottom somewhere. We've got movie news for you a little later on in the show, so don't bother mucking up your fingers with the Radio Times. We'll bring it all to you. There's about 4 really good films, and maybe one of them's a cowboy thriller.
I'm a-calling you out.
Just name the time, Sidewinder.
Tomorrow morning, daybreak.
Daybreak? You mean like 6?
What about 7:30, yellow belly?
I don't get up before 10. Got a gunfight at 10:15. How about 11?
Booked up solid.
How's tomorrow afternoon?
Can't squeeze you in till after 6, Sidewinder.
I don't go much for night gunfights.
Me neither. Maybe some other time, yellow belly.
Sure. Have your secretary give me a call when you're free.
I'll do that.
Now, back to the records.
That's the Fleetwood Mac there on possibly a future single. Jolly good disc. Well, it's the 17th of July, and today, Christopher Lee, actor, Christopher Lee, famed for horror bits, has arrived in London to film his role, get this, of Prince Philip. Christopher Lee as Prince Philip in a new American production of Charles and Diana, A Royal Love Story. Oh, God, I can see it. Who's it? Hilda Baker as Di, I think, don't you? Noddy Older as Charles, and, of course, Larry Grayson as the Queen. And now, Ted Heath, speaking of, and here's a recording of him that was sent to us by somebody lovely, God bless you, of him addressing the European Parliament many years ago when he dragged us in there, kicking and screaming. And he doesn't give an inch, he was called upon to speak French, obviously, for diplomatic reasons and ententeness. But, there's no accent there at all. He's still talking like this. It's all entente cordiale and tour Eiffel. Have a listen.
Je suis convaincu que nous vivons un moment historique comparable à celui d'il y a 20 ans. Car il est certain que les décisions que nous prendrons tous dans les semaines à venir seront déterminantes pour l'avenir politique de l'Europe.
Oh, fab. Fantastic. Strange old man. Listen, we got a recording of Maggie doing how to talk to the public. Because, before she became Prime Minister, she didn't really know how to address people. Now she only knows how to shout at people, but learning how to speak to the public on television was quite an effort for her, coming from where she came from and how she lived. So she went to How to Speak to the Public school, and we'll have a recording of her practicing how to say, "Enough is enough," in just a moment. That's a record called Just Because by War. 12 minutes to 12, and here's the official weather forecast. Some northern and western areas will be rather cloudy with rain or drizzle in places, dying out. Much of southern and eastern England will be dry, with delicious intervals of sunshine. Okay, here she comes. This is a real recording. This is not somebody imitating her. This is really Maggie Thatcher at the offices of Saatchi & Saatchi, learning how to speak to the public. And she's been given the task of trying to put oomph into the words, "Enough is enough." And it's such a historic recording, I think we ought to start it off with a fanfare.
is enough.
Remember when you were doing it before? You lit enough is enough. It's a lowering, not a raising.
Enough is enough.
No, it's
Enough is enough.
That's it.
Enough is enough. Yes, enough.
Enough
is enough. Enough is enough. Yes.
Down.
Enough is enough. Enough is enough.
Right.
Enough is enough.
That's it.
Enough is enough.
Amazing, isn't it? Can you imagine before she goes out to dinner with somebody, her husband sits in the hall saying, "Now look, it's hello." Try it. Hello. No, softer. Hello. No. Oh. How'd it go again?
Yes.
Enough
is enough. Enough is enough. Yes.
down.
Enough is enough. Enough is enough.
Fancy a little measuring flash? So do I. Police in Dorset tell us there's been an accident on the A35 at Tolpuddle, east of Dorchester. The road's completely blocked. Drivers should avoid if possible for the next 2 hours. The A35 completely blocked at Tolpuddle, east of Dorch, because of an accident. It's 7 minutes to 12. And sticking with the boobs department for just a moment, here's a little bit of something we dug out of the news department here at the BBC. A little mistakey poo. See if you can spot it.
One of 3 Labour MPs who just returned from a visit to Afghanistan, the member for Leith, Mr. Ron Brown, has now said he'd seen very few Soviet troops and control of the city was clearly in Afghan hands.
That was Girls Are Back in Town for the Southern Cassette Queens Club. And we will be playing more of that a little later on, boys. It's almost 12 o'clock and news time all around the world with Beeb sucking in the news and spraying it into your ear. And here's Maggie practicing.
Yes, enough.
Enough
is enough. Enough is enough. Yes.
down.
Enough is enough. Enough is enough.
Girls are back in town, searching for a man for some wild action. Girls are back in town. Hurry to me if you long for passion.
Continuing with our recorded memory lane, we hear 2 real old favorites. We'll spin this platter now with Only a Bird in a Gilded Cage on the front side, and I Wonder Who's Kissing Her Now on the back side.
David Jacobs.
That's the sound of Diana Ross. And it's never too late. I've got an old recording of Noel Edmonds before he became the Noel Edmonds we all know and love today. That'll be fairly amusing. It's 7 minutes after 12 o'clock, and now...
And now it's classic time.
Well, are you sick of the hustle and bustle of modern life? You fancy a little relaxez-vous? Well, here am I to give you one. It's called Brahms and... Agamemnon. Got a Damarung. It's delicious. It's off his 5 symphonies boxed set by RCA, and it goes like this. Have your brains turned to cream cheese, and your liver turned to larkspur wings on toast? Mine too. Ooh. Or as Michael Aspel would say, we have a contest now to bring us out of this mood of happiness. See if you can get your lugs around this one.
And now, on the Cuddly Ken Show, it's contest time! Woo, woo, woo!
Yes, my little green friend is right. This is one that was out about 5-6 years ago by an American duo. It got to #1, stayed there for quite a bit. It's quite delightful, really. There's a clue. There you are, 37 chances of getting it right. Write it on a postcard and then throw it away, because we'll give you the answer in just a more after this chronic record by Brian Bradley from Australia. Our Australian correspondent sent us this one saying, "Eek, have a go at this." It's by the Jacinta and Monique pupils at St Gabriel's School, Sydney, Australia. This is what's going on down under. It's called "A Prince Was Born Today." Priceless, isn't it? If you're one of those strange people who don't like this sort of thing, give us a ring and we'll take it off. Ring! Thank you. Here's a time check. It's 12 minutes after 12 o'clock, and our best wishes to the Jacinta and Monique pupils at St Gabriel's School, Sydney, Australia, and we hope you get better soon. And here's the answer. Absolutely. 10 points. Okay, it's movie time in just a second, and we'll be telling you about what's on television. You never know, it might be one of those great cell block dramas.
Stand by for another scene from a classic motion picture. This time, the prison epic, Who Slammed the Door in Cell Block 4?
Psst, Louie.
Yeah? What is it, Big Al?
Me and Spike are breaking out tonight.
Oh, yeah?
But before we go, you're going to get what's coming to you.
But wait a minute.
You've been asking for it ever since you got here. Take this.
You porky pig soap dish. Gee, thanks.
Don't mention it.
The unmistakable sound of, that bloke. It's 16 minutes after 12 o'clock, and here comes movie time! Captain Nemo and the Underwater City. BBC One, 5:30. Enjoyable spin-off from Jules Verne's 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, in which survivors sounds great. Then at 3:10 on BBC Two, fresh from his untriumphant portrayal of Jesus Christ in King of Kings, poor old Geoffrey Hunter is here involved in a dull Roman slave epic. Meanwhile, on BBC Two, 11:50 tonight, The Court-Martial of Billy Mitchell. Otto Preming's compulsively watchable recreation of a famous American flight of history. Gary Cooper excels as the American general of the Army Air Service, who courageously stands trial for accusing the War Department of criminal negligence in failing to anticipate the need for a strong stance. I'm going back in the water. And now, Digital Fantabulisms present Out into Space-Time!
And now, Kremen of the Star Corps.
Today's Oscar-winning episode stars Stan Dandyliver, Bob Slay, and Nick Coteen.
Here's Kremen.
Hi there, kids. Hi. And welcome to another rough-and-tumble barnstorming hornswoggler. You remember last time my crew and I crash-landed onto the blob. We left our battered ship and went out onto the surface.
Oh, it's all wet and sticky out here. I should never have worn these high heels.
I should have left mine behind, too. We tromped onward. Ever onward we tromped, searching for some clue as to what this strange object was. Hours later...
Oh, gee, I'm so tired.
Me too. Hey, Doc.
Yeah?
Did you bring lunch?
Yes, I brought some dehydrated rump steak with rice, followed by raspberries, raisins, and rhubarb.
Terrific. Just put the steak down there, and I'll heat it up with my ray gun. Oh, no. It's busted. What we need is a handyman.
Who is it?
Hi there.
Who are you?
I'm Harry the handyman.
Great!
Can you fix the motors on the rocket ship?
No. Can you fix the steering gear?
No.
Can you fix this ray gun?
No.
Well, what makes you think you're so handy?
Well, I only live around the corner. Before we could point out to him that he was in the wrong sketch, an unearthly rumbling sound was heard.
I'm afraid it was me, Captain. I'm so hungry.
Well, eat some of this earth.
You're kidding. I wouldn't eat that earth if it was the last earth on Earth.
As Carla was chatting, I noticed that right behind her in the slime, a trap door was opening.
Oh, Oh, golly, look, Captain. A trap door in the slime.
Gewunderschlatzen auf Wiedersehen und Gotterdammerung. Hey, careful, Doc. This is a family show. What do you mean? Well, there are people in Radio Land listening to this. And if you say anything naughty and disgusting... You mean this is going out on the radio? Yeah. If you knew Susie like I know Susie... Carla.
Yes, Captain.
Pass me that rock, would you?
What, this one?
Yeah. I was suddenly grasped by an insane urge to know what was down through the trapdoor. We had to find out. Doc, you go first. Why me? Because look, here on page 17, Doc ventures forth. But how can I venture forth when there's only 3 of us?
He's right, Captain.
Oh, never mind. I'll go first. It's always me. I always have to go. We clambered down into the hole, down a windy passageway, until...
Oh, Captain, what is this place? Look, it's horrible.
You're right. I've never seen anything quite like it. It's unfriendly, sinister, and reeks of evil. A sort of intergalactic Milton Keynes.
What will happen next? Tune in tomorrow at the same time and find out in Kremen of the Star Corps.
That's a newie from Dexy's Midnight Runners, and it's called Come On, Eileen. And now, the world's first live jingle. Now on Radio 2 we have a bunch of oldie tunes to cram into your ear rolls and make your afternoons. Thank you, thank you. Sweets. 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. How to make a song out of anything at all. And now... Over and over and over and over. Yes, it's over and over time. Shut up, you've had your turn. Yes, Over and Over Time brings you a contestable. This is dead easy, this is. It's a very limp tune, but it was awful famous, and I think it got to #1. What the heck is it?
Goodbye, 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 goodbye.
Well, none of the lemons in the studio got it. Did you get what? Yeah. Yes, it's rubbish, all right, but what's it called?
Seasons in the Sun.
Seasons in the Sun.
Goodbye, 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 goodbye to you, my trusted friend.
Limp. Bit wristy. Hey, there's a movie on ITV this afternoon that looks not too bad. It's in colour, made in 1962, 7:45. It's on everywhere except TV Southwest, who are asleep. It's Diamond Head, and it's dreary, it says in the mail, but what do they know? It's all about Hawaii, and lovely scenery as well, and Charlton Heston lumping his way around the screen. OK, that's your movies. And more. What's next? I don't know the script. Oh, yes, it's famous scenes from movies.
Now, another classic movie scene.
Son, I want you to look out there as far as the eye can see. Boy, that's belonged to our family for generations. And someday, boy, someday all that'll belong to you.
But, Dad, we're standing in the closet.
Who could ever forget Forget-Me-Nots? That was her last hit, and that's her current one. And it's called I Was Tired of Being Alone. For lovers of motoring flashes, here comes one now. And it goes like this. Here's a warning to drivers from the police in North Yorkshire. Many drivers are heading for Scarborough today for some odd reason, and there's now a 14-mile queue of almost stationary traffic on the A64 between York and Scarborough. It's going to take hours to clear, so find another route if at all possible, or go somewhere else. That's the A64, very heavily congested between York and Scarborough in North Yorkshire. If you're a child, it's time for you.
Time now for another visit with the Story Lady.
Hello, boys and girls. Today's story is one I call Robinson Crusoe. Once upon a time, there was a sailor named Robinson Crusoe. One day, when he was at sea on a big ship, a terrible storm came up from the west. Soon the entire ship had sunk, and all the men perished. All except for Robinson Crusoe, who had miraculously survived by clinging tightly to a floating piece of wood. After drifting in the sea for many days, Robinson came to a strange, uncharted island. Now he would have to plan for his survival on this seemingly deserted island. After many days of toiling, Robinson fashioned himself a nice hut and had started a victory garden. But soon he became very, very lonely, for he had seen no one on the island. So he decided to go exploring. After hours of exploring, lo and behold, he came upon a native. He ran up to him and said, "I will call you Friday." And the native looked at him and replied, "Don't call me Friday. I'll be out most of the day. Give me a buzz next Monday and maybe we can get together for lunch."
Thank you, Story Lady. Boys and girls, the Story Lady will not be seen on this station tomorrow. Instead, she will be heard, because this is radio.
Jolly bit of madness there. From Madness, it's July 17th, and it's 16 minutes to 1. Fine.
Today, much more stuff going on.
Did you know that today is the anniversary of Russia and America shaking hands in space? Yes, folks. After a docking of an American and a Russian spaceship in space, the two crews struggled down the tube and said hello to each other in this tube thing. And the Russians invited the Americans into their half for sort of borscht and stuff. And they exchanged flags and plaques and medals and stuff. And that was this very day in 1975. And the Americans who came down and spoke about it later on in press conferences and things, they said, we crawled out of our heavily digital technological thing down this tube into their half, and it was all string and knotted elastic and things. They said it was amazing it ever got off the ground and landed again. It's very strange. Anyway, that's a little anniversary, just for kicks. And in a mo, what are you looking at me like that for, audience? In a mo, it's time to go. Or even... Or maybe, at a push, you might go... Because we've got a recording of... What's his name? Paul McCartney, singing a record for the Decca record label. No wonder they got turned down.
1, 2, 3,
So this guy from Decca said, I'm terribly sorry, you'll have to get out quick. And they did, and they went to EMI and then pulled another bunch out of the other pocket. And of course it went woof! 30 minutes to 1 o'clock, and of course today is big anniversary day because at the London Pavilion, this very day, many years ago, this film hit the screen for the first time, Yellow Submarine.
In the town where I was born, young submarine.
Now, back to the records.